Hey everybody, welcome back. It's BW Esports. It's another great Saturday here on campus. We're in Berea, Ohio, and it's Saturday. It's GLEC Day. We got ourselves a great lineup here. Our Smash program will be taking on the program of Tiffin. So another in-state rival. Nice, pretty good one. Not only is it going to be a good match in terms of both people are pretty high level, but it's a little bit of a pride rivalry. I will not lie. Beating other people in Ohio is really nice. And then if you want to stick around later today, our Overwatch program is going to be taking on Shawnee State, who are a Smash team. And I'm going to call it the way that I saw it. Got incredibly lucky and won last week. So hoping to see gameplay that doesn't rely on the wild interaction between Falco's up B and a dropped item, but looking to be a pretty good match today. I will not lie. These two teams both have a lot of high level players, both have a lot of very interesting character picks, and so the way that all of those are going to be interacting is going to be very, very crucial to how this game goes. So, I was gonna say we've got lobby set up right over here. The teams are finishing up initial character picks and initial stage picks and everything. If my information is correct as far as this start, we're going to be seeing Pen Yari come in, the Game& and Watch player. And I talked a lot about this guy last week. He's one of our youngest players. Not only is he a freshman, but also just, I believe his birthday makes him pretty young. He's going to be going up against, well, never mind, that isn't game starting. Um, he's one of our youngest players. He's really like if we think towards the future of this program, he is going to be one of those cornerstone pieces. He is really like he's obviously like kind of the coming in as the old guard is coming out. He's going to be the new guard that's really cementing it, along with a handful of other players that I'll mention here and there throughout the stream. People who are going to be here for a relatively long time. So they're going to be the people who are really orchestrating the rest of this program as we go forward. Say, and it will be Tiffin's Roy coming out. I do not know his name. I'm gonna be so honest, but I was gonna say I know this guy has been a little bit of a thorn in our side. He's never been like a consistent the guy we need to worry about, but he's always been like in the mix for one of the upper like players on Tiffin's, where it's like you need to take him seriously because if you don't take him seriously, he's just gonna take stocks from you, and you're not gonna be prepared for it. Let's say, finishing up with stage selection here. I can hear the team yelling in the main room, which usually is a good sign for us getting into game pretty shortly. But the biggest thing for this, Tiffin is another one of those heavy hitters, and I was talking with one of our players, Goomba, actually yesterday, about kind of LAN outlook, and he was like, we needed to win one of these first three, and we got the Shawnee State win last week, but we're looking for more. We're looking to see if we can really, really bring more into this game. Let's say game one starting here on Smashville. Um, Actually, this might just be a button check now that I think about it, so I might have swapped over for nothing. But the long and short of it, both these players looking sharp, both these players looking fresh, making sure that everything is all set. Yeah, as I say, we're looking at what should be a very, very good matchup between these two. If all goes according to plan, and if our team understands what they believe Tiffin is going to do, and if they've set themselves up for a proper success, the hope is to see a very clean, a very, very good match coming out today. But yeah, biggest thing for all of this is that this is another one of those important games. I've been saying for a while it's a long season, which it is. There are a lot of matches left to be played, but this Tiffin Shawnee State combo was an incredibly important set of games. Like this first three, one needed to be won. And now this Tiffin one is looking to secure potentially a little bit more space and maybe even you know, secure a better seed going into LAN. First game going to be coming out here. Game& Watch up against Roy. As a Roy player, I'm going to be honest, I don't really know how this match is supposed to go. But what I do know is both are characters that really like to get in and just blow each other up. So what we're going to be seeing as that judge comes out is a lot of just very up close. Game & Watch being really able to lock people into combos and frame traps and just put you in disadvantage and just say, I'm sorry you're here. You're not getting out. The chef coming out, and it's a down smash, F smash combo. It's the pen special, but it works this time. And it's going to give BW the initial stock lead. And what we're seeing here is this Roy isn't necessarily playing the game plan bad. He's going for a lot of pretty good moves, but the issue is you're playing Roy into Game & Watch in the down smash up smash combo. This guy is just doing tricks because he feels like it, and almost went for that down smash, almost connecting, almost getting another really early stock, and he's really fishing for him now. Hopefully, or hopefully not, Tiffin's Roy is able to pick up on that, but if he really wants to win this, he's gonna need to. The fair not quite trading with the F smash. It's gonna drop Yari Yari down a stock, but it's 126 and the sour spot of down smash kills as soon as I start to talk about how the game could be bad. Roy grab into the up air, gets a little bit of percent, but oh, it's Game & Watch Nair. Almost into up air, into fair, and yeah, you're at 45 now. That's just how these moves go. And, oh, what's that? More up air and nair. So, Yari Yari looking to close this one out pretty early. The pan hitbox on Chef gonna be connecting, as will the dash attack. Charging up smash on stage, just going for something. Looking for anything to connect at this point. Double fair down smash doesn't quite hit, but the up B up air not quite connecting on there. There's gonna be a little bit of Chef. The F tilt not quite landing, but there's a fair bomb, and he goes out. Not quite gonna connect with the bear, but the down air is gonna kill off the top of the stage. And we got ourselves a start. Yari Yari taking 3, only losing 1 in this initial matchup. And I talk a lot about how that guy is going to be one of our cornerstone players coming into the future. One of the main things about him, and you saw it kind of in that gameplay, he does not care what the other person is playing. He does not care what your game plan is. He will play his way. So anyway, my initial headset completely died for some reason. That'll be something for me to figure out another time. But we've got round number 2 of this first set coming in, and what we're going to need to see from BW is just to keep the pace on, keep the pressure on. Don't let any of Tiffin's players really get an inch if we can, which I know they've got a DDD that's been a little bit of a worry for the team, so I know they've been putting in some practice with that, trying to figure out, hey, how does everything look? How do these players look like they are going to match up into this? And how can we hope to succeed? What's going to be our best options? As we wait for this next character selection, again, I was going to say, we're just going to be looking at BW keeping this pace high and just seeing all of our players playing the way that they know that they can play. Obviously, we saw bumps last week. Jack Briscoe popping off. That guy just pulling insane nonsense out of nowhere. We just saw Yari Yari doing it. I saw Lucky Lewis earlier just playing friendlies and demolishing. There's no other way to say it. He was just running people. And then I also saw Goomba, Eloquence, Super Mario, everybody on the team putting work in, doing numbers, and being the exact type of players that we need them to be. And as we look towards this match number 2, it's going to be the Incineroar for Tiffin coming out onto the stage. Yari Yari down a stock, so anything that he gets here is going to be pure extra credit. But we're going to see what he can do. Again, Game & Watch, an incredibly light character. He's 2D. He weighs like paper, so he dies fast. So Incin is going to have a lot of big moves that just sort of say, hey, you're dead now. I think it's an early 37 onto Yari Yari before he can really do anything, and that's going to be a punish on a nair that just doesn't quite hit. And Yari Yari is just he's getting the work put in. Insyn's got big moves, and those big moves are good for doing big damage and locking people out. And technically, it's a 0 to death. It's not really the fastest that you would want, but a completely unanswered stock for Jaws here. But Yari Yari, he's getting into it. He's using the moves. He's doing the Game and Watch. Um, which the biggest thing that he needs to watch out for when playing this game is going to be that revenge, because that's going to make all of Insyn's moves way more potent. It's going to make him do way more damage. But hey, he can just hit him far enough off stage that he's unable to recover and get a stock here onto Jaws, which just makes whoever comes in next's job even easier, because they don't have to deal with as much Incineroar. But a lot more close range combat here, as Yari Yari able to get a little bit of a start here, a nice 39%, and now trying to go for a ledge trap. The chef not quite connecting, and the Insyn going for a dare, but Yari Yari is a little smarter. He decided to go down, and we're back into this mid play. The jabs coming out for Insyn, looking for something, looking for some sort of connection, potentially trying to get back to the form of first stock. And he's got Yari Yari at a high enough percent that a lot of his attacks are just going to be very good here. Letting the ledge trap go and letting Yari Yari back into this with the lone whip is going to connect, and it's going to send Yari Yari all the way across stage. Not quite a kill yet, but put him not in the fun zone, I will say. The fair barely poking through the shield. Insyn back on stage, but Yari Yari, he's doing a pretty good job at locking this guy out. Oh, but he's giving him a little revenge and used on that back air, it almost killing. Not quite, but Yari Yari able to get back onto stage, back into this in-between motion. Down smash not connecting, neither will fare, but it will wall out the Insyn as he now needs to make this move. Yari Yari is not against playing this game to time, and the just low dare catching, or low bear catching Jaws. He'll get taken out by an up air, but 5 stocks is a massive comeback compared to what was happening last week. And now that Yari Yari is out, you need to look towards what's going to be your best option, not even necessarily just for the Insyn, but for beyond. Because obviously the Insyn is the first one. You need to take one off the Insyn, you know? But beyond that, you also need to worry about, hey, who else do they have in their lineup? Obviously, Tiffin is known for having Fortune. He's a me sortie player. He's incredibly good. He knows how to play this game, and he knows how to play it very well. So that's like the kind of the final boss if we're to talk about teams. Teams are going to have like their one player that's insane. The rest of their players that are good, but the one player is usually going to be kind of that raid boss. For Bethel week 1, we saw that being Gus. For last week, we saw that with Space Miner. This week, it's going to be Fortune. And he's their sortie player. He's incredibly skilled in his own right. And so we need to worry about, hey, how do we match up into all of this? But I saw a pro controller pairing, which gives me one of two things, and looking towards this, it is the man of the hour. It's going to be Lucky Lewis stepping into the ring here, playing the Sephiroth, which should match up incredibly well into this Insyn. Not only does he have a lot of experience with Insyn, with former BW Esports member Calamity, Calvin, but also he just every time he runs into an Insyn, he just kind of wins. I'm gonna be so honest. He's got a very good record against Incineroars. He plays them not only incredibly tight, but also incredibly well. And looking forward, it's just kind of gonna be, hey, how can he take this stock fast? Because Sephiroth is a glass cannon, so he is going to be susceptible to some of the Incineroar nonsense. You know, if he gets a full revenge low and whip, he's probably going to die at like 40. But a lot of it is going to be how can he space, and he's taken himself to PS2, which I expect to be a very good. I know not only has it been a very good stage for Sephiroth, but it's also been a very good stage for him, especially. And We're going to be seeing this game starting. Obviously, Tiffin's Ensign Jaws is going to have to SD twice because of the 2 loss to Yari Yare. But once that happens, it's going to be game start here. And Lucky Lewis looking for just an early 1 stock, and we're going to see exactly why he was a great choice for this. If his close range stuff doesn't work, he's just going to play the big sword and keep you out of range, which is exactly how he's playing, giving him a little bit of revenge, which could end up being very nasty in the future, with the Alone Whip just barely missing, and now all of that revenge is gone. Lucky Lewis able to find a little bit of damage onto the Ensign, almost giving that stock, but a little bit of the aerial superiority and a little bit of that sword coming out. And it's just Lucky Lewis all the time here. And that full charge Giga Flare, another one coming out. It's going to force Ensign to recover low. It gives Lucky Lewis the opportunity to hit him on the ledge. And now we're looking at 161, and that's just a kill. That's just Sephiroth. I don't know how else to call it other than that. Lucky Lewis taking down Jaws, wasting very little time. I think only taking about 16% there, and just walling the Ensign out, which that's exactly what you get with a matchup having someone with a big sword versus just a brawler. It's just he's gonna be able to wall them, and kind of thinking towards the rest of Tiffin's cast, that's gonna be kind of a theme with especially Lucky Lewis here, but honestly a fair number of our players. A lot of our players play sorties with decent range. Obviously we have the exceptions of Goomba's Sonic and Bumps' Falco and Super Mario's Mario, but the rest of them play sorties that have a little bit of range implementation in there. Oh, also Yari Yare with Game & Watch. But they're just kind of able to outspace almost everybody that's left on the stage. DDD is going to be a little bit of an issue just because of Gordo and everything. The hammer itself, it's a sword, but it's like, it's kind of stubby compared to Sephiroth's. And then me Sword Fighter, also, he's a swordy, so he obviously has some range, but he's not gonna like hard outrange you just in terms of the sword. So Lucky Lewis is sitting pretty good with at least his game plan. The only thing that could potentially become a problem with especially the Mii Sword Fighter, and I think to a lesser extent the DDD, is that Sephiroth kind of gets blown up if you're able to consistently get in on him. Because a lot of his moves are very slow. Obviously, his Nair is one of his fastest options, or one of his best close range options, just because it doesn't require the sword, that down tilt. So we might be seeing a little bit more reliance on those two coming into, especially a game against someone like Fortune, where he's playing the Misordi and he can just get in on you and decide, hey, I'm gonna do like 60 in one interaction. Have fun. So we're going to be looking towards potentially that as characters are being exchanged, and well, who is playing is being communicated between the two players so stocks can be chosen. And it looks like we're going to have A, the Xenoblade music coming out, and B, we're going to be moving over to small battlefield, as it is going to be the DDD for the side of Tiffin coming out here, which will make this interesting. Cheesy Pizza now on the board going up against Lucky Lewis. It's just going to be a straight game, so once that timer is down, you just run it. And the Gordo coming out early, Lucky Lewis able to interact with it, but that's kind of the thing that I was talking about. DDD is a player that it's a character that has pretty good just up close brawling, because although his hammer can act like a sword, he's just got a lot of options that'll just be like, hey, we're up close. I'm going to do a lot of damage to you, as we see with Lucky Lewis already sitting at that 75%. But if he's able to play kind of the same way that he was against the Ensign, leveraging his advantage state and leveraging his just, I have a long sword and you do not, so I'm going to keep you at the range where that long sword hits and yours doesn't, we're looking at a very, very good game, especially against a character like DDD. The one wing coming out for Sephiroth here, it's going to make him be a little bit more potent, as you see the dash attack coming out, getting some pretty good connection. Not quite close enough to have that sword really take any hold. But the back air going to be getting good damage in the Giga Flare, eating the Gordo. Down tilt going to be connecting, as will the up air. Cheesy Pizza in a very bad state, and now he's off stage. Lucky Lewis taking the first stock of this match. And now Cheesy Pizza getting straight back into it, trying to go for the Gordo rocket. Not going to connect because able to take Lucky Lewis off stage, looking for some sort of connection. That's going to hit. Both players back on stage, essentially at even percents, especially with that little bit of a suck. And now the Gordo send out is going to be doing some pretty good damage. That F smash could have been dangerous, but Lucky Lewis able to get the connection onto the Gordo, getting a little bit of dash attack, resetting this to essentially neutral. The one wing coming back out. That attack from ledge, barely beating out F smash, giving him a little bit of space, and the Octo Slash going to be giving him a nice little clean recovery. That sword allowing him to poke from afar, giving him a little bit of that space. And he's going to be getting a little bit more up airs coming out, not quite connecting, but that move going to be catching and trying to go for the off the top kill of the DDD. Not getting it quite yet, and that up air is going to be taking Lucky Lewis's stock. Lewis taking the fight straight back to Cheesy Pizza. No real waiting, no real wavering. It's just going to be about him taking this stock, making it as easy as he can for the next BW player that is to come in. And obviously, if it isn't wiping Cheesy Pizza, it's going to be getting him down to 1. And the kidnap almost kills him, but Cheesy Pizza loses the stock instead. We're down to a last stock situation. Lucky Lewis now sitting at just over 50 against this DDD. He needs to see what he can do. Obviously, if he can take that stock, it would be amazing, but he's already gone well above his pay grade of 3. So we're looking for any overtime that we can. The Gordo connecting, the second one connecting, bringing the one wing out. Another Gordo on stage, trying to read what could have been a roll get up, but it will not be the neutral. Sneaking just outside, and he's able to get a little bit of damage. The Gordo cannon coming out. Another Gordo not quite connecting, but Lucky Lewis getting in a little bit of a jab lock. Now both players at relatively high percents. Going for some sort of suck release, will not be connecting. So Lucky Lewis takes that time to get back into advantage state, getting a little bit more damage onto Cheesy Pizza. Lucky will be forced back off stage. Playing high could have been very bad, but the down smash read of the roll is going to cause another stop to be taken by Tiffin. Now BW is actually sitting pretty good. Lucky Lewis being able to take 3 there. My bad, because he only took 1 off of the Ensign. Did exactly what he needed to do. Take a full player and force Cheesy Pizza into an awkward situation. And now, as we look to swap up players, I honestly don't know who's going to be coming in. Never mind, now I do. It's going to be Bumps on the Falco. The player who really was the tide turner last week. He was able to really lock down on the win that was so desperately needed against Space Miner, taking that final stock in thunderous fashion. If you saw the reaction on here, we were all stunned by it. Of course, me and my co-caster, who has decided to abandon me for Chicago, at least this week. He'll be back eventually. But looking towards what play Bumps can bring, he's a very aggressive Falco. He's very, if you're a pro Smash head, if you enjoy watching that type of stuff, he's a very Masunabe type Falco, which we were actually talking about a couple minutes ago. And he's going to bring that type of combo chaotic type energy into this game, which hopefully we're going to be seeing play out very well in this mode. Obviously, DDD with only 1 stock means that, if anything, we're going to be seeing Bumps looking for an early start and trying not to lose much, because if Fortune is here, he's their back pocket, he's going to be their final player, and BW having 2 players to deal with him is going to be very, very good, because both players really only need to take, obviously they only need to take a stock and a half, but it doesn't really work that way. But as I'm talking about Masunabe and I'm talking about Bumps' Falco, we're seeing exactly that. It's the cutscene combo, baby. You're at 90 almost, but the 90 is off the Gordon. But that's exactly what we're talking about. Bumps is a hyper-aggressive, hyper-fast Falco player that just decides, hey, you're gonna take this damage now. And he gets that up tilt into the dare, and it's Cheesy Pizza's already at 140. This is looking like a done deal for Bumps. Whether it's this stock or not doesn't really matter. I don't think Cheesy Pizza makes it out of this one alive. And Bumps really trying to make sure that that happens, and happens soon. The Gordo coming out for Cheesy Pizza is going to get a little bit, but the up smash just connects and confirms, and that's Bumps taking it over Cheesy Pizza. As we move into the final player for Tiffin in this game number 1 here for GLEC. And this, if this, what do you call it? If this performance is looking to stay up, we could be looking at a very, very fast match, which would be very nice. I'd love seeing these guys win, but also it would give me more time to just kind of relax, because it's kind of early. But looking towards this final game, we're expecting a fortune pullout here. The Me Sortie coming onto the board with Bumps and most likely Eloquence sitting in the back pocket. It really is just about how fast can we confirm this game, which Bumps is playing hot today. He's always playing pretty hot, but he is playing very hot today. That was a very good just, hey, let's lock down this character type of play, which we're hoping to see continue to come out. And we're hoping to see it really take form as he matches up against, again, I'm assuming Fortune. I'm just calling it kind of early because that's usually Tiffin's best player. It's usually their lockdown, their anchor, and everything. And for Bumps, really, he can work on mostly any stage. He can work against mostly any characters. He would love to have those platforms. It really extends his combos. But if not, I mean, he's still got stuff in the chamber. He's still got stuff to lock you down, you know? So we'll see exactly what is coming out from the selection here for Tiffin. And we'll see exactly what character here is really popping up onto stage and to really lock down against this Falco. We're going to be returning to PS2, and it is going to be Fortune. It is going to be the Me Sortie coming out here for the side of Tiffin. And this is the big one. This is the big guy sitting in the back pocket here for Tiffin. Bumps isn't even going to need to die, so we're just going to be sending it straight into this game mode. And already, it's become a spacing war. Both characters with reflectors, both characters with projectiles. This is going to be a great game to watch. This is just going to be the fastest paced game you've ever seen, as they're going to sit full stage from each other and throw projectiles and hope one connects. Essentially in a very well, as I say that, non-connection game. Now, Bumps going in, getting that the rapid jab coming out up against Fortune, getting a little bit of damage, and he's going to be kind of continuing to lock this down. Fortune really trying to find some sort of footing, but Bumps just really was able to keep him at ledge there. But now Fortune really playing the waiting game. He's not looking to force the issue. He's just looking to make Bumps be the aggressor. But the unfortunate thing is, when you let Bumps be the aggressor, you get stuff like that. You get the ability for double reflector is crazy. You get the ability for Bumps to just dictate the pace of play, and what that means is you're dying at 140 and Bumps is only at 22. And what I would expect to see is Fortune kind of pick the pace up here. Bumps now doesn't even need to be the aggressor. He's got the stock lead, and he knows that he can win up against Fortune. That tornado back and forth reflection. Fortune really looking for that kill, and the side B there from Beef Fighter putting a little bit of damage out. Just a lot of back and forth movement here. Fortune now really being that aggressor, and the reflect on the tornado, it's going to be getting him a little bit of damage, but he's just stuck at ledge. He can't quite get out. And now Fortune, with the stock deficit, he can't really play the way that he played game 1, or stock 1. but we're seeing Bumps just get into it. He's allowing himself to really start this game up. The one thing that I would be worried about is that double reflector, because the back and forth of it could really pose to be an issue here for not only Bumps, but both players here, as projectiles can get bounced back and forth. And when you're looking at a back and forth bounce, you're looking at potentially not great scenes for either player. That reflector going to be coming out, catching the tornado, and now Bumps looking for a kill. He's at that percentage where really a lot of his stuff can really connect into just a really strong move, but that up smash from Fortune is going to be taking Bumps' stock. You know, he's looking to confirm this one fast and maybe take the last one on this stock. Unsure if he can actually quite take it, but that send-off for Fortune is going to be providing a lot of damage, and the fair is going to be enough to connect. Fortune with only one stock left, and BW now not only having the player still in stage, Bumps still fighting, but also another one in the pocket. It's even like a great showing for BW, but the up B from Fortune, it's a great play. It's a very good read. It takes Bumps out. But now, one stock left on Fortune, and we've got an entire player in the back pocket. I wonder who it could be. I actually do kind of wonder, because with only one stock left, obviously stock differential does matter in these games. You do want to not be throwing away your advantages, but you've got a lot of options, honestly. You've got a lot of great potential players that you can really throw in, and yeah, we'll see exactly what BW is choosing to pull out here. Got a little bit of that, you know, break in the action. Everybody kind of slows down the pace, looks to see, hey, what are we really trying to do? Who are we really trying to send in up against this, what could be a brick wall of Fortune? But honestly, I don't know if it was just the Falco matchup, but it felt like he was playing that very non-committal, very pacifist. I wasn't seeing a lot of what I expected, which is players being that very aggressive, very in-your-face style of player that I feel like Sortie really can be. But I just wasn't really seeing this. I was seeing a lot of the reflector, the tornado, the, I don't know what it's called, but the disc projectile, and we just weren't seeing a lot of the pace coming out that I would have expected to really come from Fortune. And yeah, so my early information, I believe, is serving me correct. It is going to be Eloquence coming out here, as we forget to change not only characters' name tags, but also stages. Um, Great stuff, guys. Great stuff. But it's going to be the Sora coming out up against the Mii Sword Fighter. And hey, we're going to see what happens. Um, it's all about, it's one stock. You just need to take that one stock and take it fast. You don't want to give Fortune an inch. He's a very player. If you give him an inch, he'll take a mile. He will play very scrappy like that. But it's very much about closing this out cleanly, closing it out fast, and just getting all of that going as far as it comes to playing this game. Loading into the final match of set one here. Fortune down to one stock. BW's Eloquence sitting at 3. While it's not a bygone conclusion, it's looking very good here. Fortune gonna have to knock those two off the board, giving Eloquence that last, that type of advantage that his teammates were able to build up. And we're seeing again Fortune kind of putting himself into the corner. But what that allows is it allows for a lot of our players just to build their combos and build their setup. You can't really sit in the corner against a lot of people who like to play very combo heavy, very, I'm going to sit, and once I get in, you're going to be taking a ton of damage, which we've got a lot of on this team. We've got a lot of very, not, you know, hit you once, hit you twice type characters. We've got a lot of, hey, you're going to get hit about 7 times every interaction, and that 7 times is going to bring you pretty high in stock. Fortune's Fair not quite connecting, but putting a lot of stuff still on the board and really forcing the movement. The up smash from Eloquence not quite connecting, but a trade of projectiles back and forth from Fortune and Eloquence is going to put this game back into another standstill. But the triple hit F smash not lie. That was a pretty good movement. But game's not over quite yet. And what that means is we still got a lot of time to play. Eloquence with 2 stocks here. Fortune sitting at over 100. All Eloquence really needs is one solid opening for him to truly just start to pile on that damage. The up B not quite connecting, really trying to do something with it. And the side B's getting him back onto stage, but putting him in just a little bit of a disadvantage state. Now, returning back to this neutral. Both players with a little bit of projectiles. Fortune with a little more, but you allow yourself to get in. Fortune now coming from the bottom of the stage. The Firaga coming out for Eloquence, putting him back off. And now Fortune up in the air. Eloquence with not necessarily that aerial superiority, but he is able to connect the up air. That's game 1 for W. Consistent and quick game 1. And now, as BW looks towards what exactly is going to be coming out, we're going to be taking a little bit of a short break, but game 1 looked great. No real flaws, no real problem play or anything. I wouldn't expect much to change. BW is just playing this one really good. We're going to get characters swapped around. We're going to get our starts swapped back up. And as soon as that happens, we'll see you here. Stay tuned. That's what I wanted to say. Stay tuned, not catch you later. Stay tuned. Game number 2 here of this set between BW and Tiffin is going to be starting up right here, right now. We chose again to lead with the Game & Watch. It's given us good value before. Might as well keep it up. And they chose to lead with their Ensign, which again, Ensign, he's a very, he can blow Yari Yari up. But if Yari Yari just like gets in and decides, hey, you're not going to interact, he just kind of wins that. Which we saw early, an early 40% onto the Ensign, and looking like it might be even more. But as I say, one of the great things about this like format of crew battles is it allows you for a lot of anti-stratting, which I really like to see in the individuals, because obviously they altered their lineup. They sent their Ensign in first instead of the Roy that they led with last time. And that was literally just, they thought the Ensign was going to have a better matchup. They thought we were going to lead with the Game & Watch, and hey, technically speaking, they were right. It took the Roy a little longer to get to this, and also you have Revenge, which just kind of nullifies Penn's entire strategy of, hey, let me just like push buttons on you, and we'll see what happens. With that up B, missing the ledge, Roy connecting, but hey, the high recovery into Nair is able to get him out of what could have been a very, very sticky situation, and that down air is able to get him out of what could have been another. And that down smash, able to keep him out of these sticky situations. And that's a down smash, F smash combo. It's the Penn special, baby. And it's a stock lead for BW very early into this game. Obviously, still a lot of Smash left to be played, not only in this game right here, but in this full set. And it's going to be Yari Yari here, starting early, getting some good damage onto this Ensign. Fortunately, walking straight into a fair. And now he's just got to work around this and see what happens. Another down smash, F smash combo, and it kills again. It's the Penn special for a reason. And when he hits it, it's like a really good commentary moment. And when he does it, it's even funnier. The alone whip is, yeah, it's gonna kill there. He was well over 100. Yeah, you're gonna die there. But now, down throw Nair combo. If it doesn't work the first time, do it again, and it'll work. And we're seeing exactly that. It's another down smash into another smash attack combo. Who could have seen this coming? It's almost like Game & Watch's smash attacks do that sometimes. But now, Yari Yari, he doesn't need to play this approach game much more. He is going to, because that's who he is, that's how his gameplay is. He really doesn't need to. He's got a significant, not only stock, but percentage lead. He can really just kind of hang out. If this game were to go to time, really boring 4 minutes later, Yari Yari would get this win and come into it with the 2 stocks. And now we see him just play the patient game, waiting on one side. As I say that, he dash attacks in and is going to get caught. Could potentially be a little bit of an instant combo, but lucky enough and smart enough to stave away from that as it be. And again, this game continuing, trying to do the run-up dash attack, not quite connecting off of the chef hit, but it will bring him back into this game. And we see it, more bombs, more gameplay, and it's just Game & Watch doing the same stuff, that time able to get out of what could have been a punish, and hey, a down smash, up smash kill. It's a little bit different, but it's the same thing all over again. And hey, we look towards what's next. We're going to look to see exactly who Tiffin looks to send in, as Yari Yari now goes into the next game with 2 stocks instead of 1 like he did last time. And we'll see exactly what Tiffin decides to pull here. Obviously, they've got the Roy in the back pocket, they've got the Misordi in the back pocket, and they've got the DDD in the back pocket. They also could potentially have some characters that we haven't seen, but at the same time, I wouldn't bet my money on it. I wouldn't bet my house on it. I would very much just expect to see a lot of the same that we've been seeing. Obviously, like with us, we have enough people that we can swap in and out. We have enough players that, hey, if a certain matchup does pop up, because we know Tiffin does have a Terry that they can throw in, but we also have a lot of players here who just kind of counter Terry. They just do really good into that matchup. And so the look and the hope is that that's exactly what we're able to do. We're able to read what they're going to pull out and whether our initial players, because we're deciding to really generally stick with the same lineup, keep a lot of the same ideas running. Um, if we decide to shift things up, we have players and we know why we would want to shift things up. And even if it's just as simple as we need to swap a player playing one character for a player playing another character. If Lucky Lewis gets to a point where the Greninja is looking like a much better play than the Sephiroth, which who knows? You know, Sephiroth was doing obviously very good work earlier, but it could become a point where depending on who gets thrown in, he might throw the Greninja in. Who really knows? But stuff like that, variability within a team lineup is really what makes teams like, teams in this league very hard to beat and very hard to read. If you look, and I hate to use people as an example, if you look towards a team like Muskingum's got a very small basis. I think they've only got about four players. So they have enough for a lineup, but it's a very static lineup because it's, if I remember correctly, an Inkling, a Puff, a DDD, and a Luigi, if I remember right. And that's it. So you can really plan around all of that and you know exactly how you want to respond. And especially if you have players who you know just kind of cover all of that, you can just send one of them in early and roll with that player from there. But with a team like Tiffin or a team like ours or even a team like Bethel, Manchester, CSU, when you have enough players that you can really talk about alterations in your setup and everything, you're looking at, good work. You're looking at a team that's very hard to read because of how much variability there is within the characters that they play, within the lineups that they can draw, because they can have players who operate very well in the front line, in the back line, in somewhere in the mid table. And if you're able to really follow that, you have teams that can do great damage, but it's just a matter of figuring out how to unlock them. Still sitting here waiting for character selection from Tiffin to come in, as stage stage selection will also need to come in. But yeah, we're just sort of waiting here, seeing what exactly is to come. This is a actually very long pause, I will say. Normally, I feel like teams on this are usually relatively fast, but we got a little bit of cursor movement on this other screen. Hopefully that means that we're going to be getting a stage soon, and hopefully that means that the game is going to be continuing, because I would love to talk more about, especially this guy, our main guy in right now, Penn. We've actually got a stage selection this time. He selected something and I got very scared because I was like, I don't want to go to Green Hill Zone. I don't want to play Sonic right now. But it looks like the stage has been selected. It's looking like we're going to Smashville, and it looks like it's going to be the Roy Saber for Tiffin coming in. Now, this was a player that Yari Yari played in round one, as we saw, and he didn't demolish, but he did win, and it was enough. So now, obviously, Yari Yari having to take his own first stock, but now we move straight into the game, and it's Yari Yari getting exactly what he wants, and that's, I'm just going to hit you with Nair a lot, which, hey, that's just the Game & Watch game plan. A lot of it is just going to be continually locking the Roy out, not allowing him to really get anything that he wants started, because that's where the most problems for Yari Yari and really anyone playing a Roy can really start if you let the Roy really get his gameplay rolling, which his game plan most of the time is just, hey, I'm going to constantly follow you, beat on you, and make it very hard for you to really implement anything in your game plan, because my game plan is just to hit buttons on you and really win out. And what we're seeing is Yari Yari doing a very good job of holding that. Obviously, the Roy able to get in, bringing him up to 80, but Saber already up to 130, what could be a very a stock being taken very soon. And this could end up causing a lot of issues for Tiffin, obviously giving Yari Yari more mileage, and him still having the two stocks, the sour spot of down smash connecting, being able to take that first from Saber. And although he's at 90 and Roy really can kill, getting all of that rage off is really necessary, bringing him back down to that even, no extra things, no nothing. But hey, when you're at like 130, a Roy Fair will probably kill. But Penn getting straight back into it, Yari Yari putting on the damage, already bringing him up to essentially 50 before he's taken any. And as I say that, he gets down throwed and Nair and bro. I need to stop talking. The Dancing Blade coming out for the Roy, getting a little bit more percentage onto Game & Watch, but that F smash not connecting as Yari Yari now has been given an opening. The counter not really working against Game & Watch up B. That move just sort of wins. The down smash, I liked the attempt, but it was not quite enough. And what we're seeing is a lot of Yari Yari just getting his movement out, what he wants to do and what he wants to go for, which is let's put let's put Saber into you have to work around my moves, and that's exactly what happens. Saber now down to his final stock, as is Yari Yari, but Yari Yari looking to see if he can really get anything else, because obviously more percentage would be great, kill would be amazing, percentage doesn't quite carry over, but putting up more of this fight on the Roy, giving you more of that experience up against a high-level Swordy who really works off of strange spacing, but that up B could end up being a problem. Saber jumping around, getting the fair, taking Yari Yari's last stock. So Yari Yari taking 5 for only his 3. Incredibly good. Exactly what you want to see. And now we look towards what's next. Who is BW going to choose to send out in response to the one stock of Saber? But also now you have to think about who's sitting in the back pocket. You know, you have the DDD coming up, and it's going to be the Falco. It's going to be Bumps coming out here. He's going to be taking the stage up against this Roy. Both these characters very good at just getting in on a single person and just blowing them up. Both these characters really thrive in not only their combo game, but also they're just, I'm going to stick on you and you're going to die. And that's the entire game for both of them. So it's really going to be about who gets that opening first and who's really able to start their movement. And it looks like we're going to be moving on over to PS2 here. I almost said PlayStation 2, Pokemon Stadium 2. A very, very popular pick here for alts just in general, and we're gonna be looking to see Bumps really get something started here, and really start what could potentially be a very good run back, giving BW even more of a player lead when it comes to playing these final 2 characters of Tiffin's. Game is now going to be starting as we see Bumps really move into this and start to try to get something going for a lot of these combo starters, but the wake up B from Saber is going to be connecting and putting a little bit damage onto Bumps. A lot of this is about just, can he get one of his combo starters and can he get something rolling? You've got the Illusion waiting for the roll, who gets a little bit of damage, and now we've got potentially something starting here for Bumps. Saber already at 60. He's going to have to drop that combo because of something, but he instantly gets back into another one, gets a trade. Saber now sitting at 80 as Bumps sits at that 70 mark. But the Dancing Blade, I honestly thought that Killspark was going to be legitimate, but it ends up being just a fake. Bumps sends the Roy out far, not quite able to confirm the kill, but the random F smash from the Roy able to connect. And now Bumps has him at 104 and needs to get something good. The double Nair coming out for the side of Saber. And that fair, 2 fairs in a row, going to be getting some good damage. Dancing Blade, Bumps is able to slip out of it, and he's able to now get stage presence. Looking for something. That up smash barely missing, but the F smash is going to read the jump in, and it's going to get the kill, confirming now a BW lead, 8-6. Bumps unfortunately losing 1 there, but he's able to keep it going. He's able to keep it confirmed. And we look towards what could be next. Tiffin obviously having the DDD in the back pocket, obviously having Fortune trying to figure out what exactly they are going to choose to send in because they've got a lot of options for characters that they can pick from. They've got the two, obviously, but they've also, if he's there, they have a Terry that we've seen before, and we know could be a little bit of a problem character. He's not quite a we need to base our entire game plan around him, but a lot of our players don't have the best records against FGCs, which happens. You know, the characters play a little strange. They play unorthodox compared to the regular Smash gameplay and game line, and we're hoping to see if they are to come out, some of our players really show their stuff and be able to show their mettle when it comes to these characters. Say, waiting for Tiffin to really send in their selection, and then obviously that'll affect how stages are picked and everything, and then we will see what exactly they've chosen to go with. And it'll be a really good thing. Obviously, BW coming into this game. I talked about it a little bit before. I don't even know if I mentioned earlier on the broadcast, but I mentioned it when I was talking with friends before. This game is very important. We need to see um, BW if they really want to like a really good shot at LAN. Obviously, foregoing any extreme upsets, one of these first three needed to win. Two of these first three would have been amazing. We're going to be shifting over to Battlefield, and it's actually going to be a Falco Ditto. I did not know this was even on the cards. I'm going to be so honest. But it turns out the DDD of Cheesy Pizza also has a Falco, and he wishes to try to bring it to Bumps. So, I mean, hey, we'll see how it works. The double taunt here now going to be enough, but Bumps getting the early start, getting the early 30%. Blaze are going to be doing a little bit of work, but that down tilt is going to be putting Cheesy Pizza into a little bit of a blender. Falco, or not Falco, Bumps with that parry, gonna be getting some good damage here as he sends Cheesy Pizza up into the sky. Pizza being a little bit more aware of that down tilt, not quite gonna let himself get caught by it, and he's gonna come off stage with the down air up tilt, but not quite able to convert, and those are the things that you see big Falcon players really converting off of. So you're going to see Bumps move in here. He got that up tilt and instantly is following. Also not connecting. So my statement, I'm sorry, JP, for what I said. But I'm seeing a lot of big moves, big swings coming out of both of these players. Tiffin sitting very high, and Cheesy Pizza dropping his first stock to Bumps. Bumps still sitting at that 85 mark, and he's going to get straight back into it. A lot of good damage coming out from these combos. Not quite enough to confirm a kill yet, but Cheesy Pizza trying to be a little stylish, trying to be a little cute with it. And he drops a stock, now down to his last, and Bumps has reversed the script. He's got a stock lead, he's got the play time, and he's got the ability to really take this to Cheesy Pizza. The illusion giving him a little bit of damage, so will the fair. Laser not quite connecting, but Cheesy Pizza potentially was looking for another thing, but didn't want to play it quite as dangerous as he did last time. We saw it cost him before. The illusion just not quite staying long enough. Cheesy Pizza able to get a little bit in. Oh, another illusion getting back on the stage for Bumps. But Cheesy Pizza bringing it straight back to him. Bumps sitting at that 135 mark. A lot of stray Falco hits will kill, but so will a lot of his own. 77 sitting here for Cheesy Pizza with the back air. It's just enough to confirm. I don't know how else to say it, but it's now a clean slate for Bumps as we go into is definitely going to be this final stock, but for who, I cannot quite say. But it's looking very good for Bumps. A lot of big damage onto Cheesy Pizza. 90, and that up smash is gonna kill. Bumps mounting a massive amount of area taken. And now, unless by some miracle or by some mad choice they have chosen not to send Fortunate as their last, it's going to be 3 BW players up against the 1 Tiffin player of Fortune. And we're going to need to see something come out of Fortune if he chooses or tries to send this to a game number 3. It's going to be very difficult. He needs a lot of space. He obviously not only needs to take 7 stocks, but he also just needs to kind of keep his own resources in check because he's only got 3 left, and he's going to need to really worry about how are those stocks really going to add up. Realistically, you can spend one per player, but you almost want to take this first stock without really any fanfare, not letting him really get in on anything. And if this game ends up being anything like we saw last time, what we're going to see is Bumps and Fortune both play the patient game. We're going to see them both be willing to really sit on the other side of the stage from each other, really play this slow game, and allow their projectiles to do the talking. As we get into what most likely won't be, but could be the final game of this set. Bumps obviously has to take 2 of his own. And we're back on PS2. We're back on this stage again. And what we're looking to see is how are things going to change? What we see is, at least it looks like, Fortune, at least at the start, pressing the issue. He's got a percent lead. Looking for a little bit more. The Tornado and the Chakram coming out here, trying to play a little bit of that spacing game up against Bumps. Bumps is getting caught by some of these moves, not quite able to get the reflector out in time. But the rush play is going to be getting a little bit of damage on Bumps, but he got his combo starter, and so he's able to get Fortune up to that 50, but the triple hit of the Chakram and the S Smash is going to confirm it. Like I said, very little fanfare, very little back and forth. It just needs to be that stock taken very fast. And now, BW's had a little bit of a fork in the road. BW has to make a little bit of a choice. Do you want to send in your heavy hitter first to try to just 3-3 win it out? Or do you want to send in a player like Lucky Lewis or a player like Goomba even to try to lessen the load that your top player is going to have to do at your own risk? It really is kind of understanding how is that back and forth really going to play out, and how are we really going to get the stocks that are necessary to be taken. But we see a Pro Controller pairing up, so we're going to be getting one of those 2 players stepping into the ring. And I have a feeling, but I'm not going to call it before I see it, it is going to be the Sephiroth of Lucky Lewis. It's what I thought. And it's just going to be about pace play here. Obviously, Sephiroth has a big sword, so he's able to really play range. He's really able to hold people at bay. And because Fortune is really relying on a lot of his zoning tools, a lot of his spacing tools, we might just see that exact style of gameplay come out. Obviously, it's going to be a little harder for Lucky Lewis as he doesn't really have any super long range projectiles, but he does have enough. He can make it work. He can make do with the cards that he is dealt. And a lot of it's just going to be about how is he going to play this, play this pace, play this play. As we get the stage selection in here, I thought it was going to be going to PS2, but it looks like we might be getting a little bit of a shakeup. It actually looks like we're going to be going to uh, Kalos if everything turns out correctly. I'm still waiting here. I see the movement over on my other screen, but nothing is quite coming through. And every time I'm just like sitting here like, are we gonna go? Are we getting into the game yet? I would like to watch the game, please. I would like for us to play the game. That would be very fun. But it is going to be the 2 of Lucky Lewis and Fortune moving in. Another game here on the cards. It's just going to be a raw 3-3. So as soon as that timer starts, the game is going to commence. And it's all about that play. It's all about Lucky Lewis getting his play in and playing how he wants to and not letting Fortune dictate the game that he wants to. The Chakram and the Tornado coming out here going to be really spacing Lucky Lewis, and this could end up being a very big problem. Fortune's got a lot of those just, I'm just going to kind of pelt stuff at you as we see this immaculate gameplay here coming out from the 2 of them. But now Lucky Lewis, he sees an opening. He's able to get a little bit of pressure onto Fortune, and he's able to force him into this strange gameplay. And now we go back to the platform. We go back to the gameplay. Lucky Lewis down in percent, though, so if this is going to be a long-term game plan, this is really going to be about him getting a little bit more onto Fortune and then playing this slow game. Because Obviously, he's not going to win right now. He's down in percentage, but now he's up, and now he's got the orbs, and now he's got a little bit of an opening. This could end up being something very good. Lucky Lewis now bringing Fortune up to 80. He's going to almost get into one of Sorty's combos, but he's not going to allow himself to get fully caught. Chakram getting a little bit more, and the charge forward from Fortune providing him a little bit of pressure. Oh, the full charge Giga Flare. I really thought that was going to hit, but not quite. Lucky Lewis now on the edge will get caught out by the tornado into what looked like a bear, but Lucky Lewis back onto stage and back looking to press the issue. Could have been a really good start. That dash attack not quite winning out, and that move from Fortune is going to be getting a little bit more pace on. And now we see a lot of this just long range, one sitting on one side, one going to the other type of gameplay. As we see Tornado and the Chakram coming out. Really just back and forth gameplay. Lucky Lewis dying there apparently. But now with that Angel Plight invincibility coming out, really looking to take one here from Fortune, not allowing him to get a free 3 and just sort of feel out his game plan. Lucky Lewis now up in the air, gets the Nair out, looking for some sort of offstage confirm. Could have been a really good play from the F smash, will not quite connect. And the wing coming out, we need to see something big coming from this play, because we've seen Fortune get some very good confirms off of very little. Back onto the plat, but the dash attack with the wing is going to be able to confirm. And now, Lucky Lewis really just trying not to go down without a fight. Needing a little bit of percent, needing a little bit of damage, whatever it may be. But allowing Fortune to get the grab, get the down throw. And now we're back in our position. We're back sitting away from each other. The up air. Doing a little bit, trying to get a little bit of a connection. It will get a little bit. Fortune unable to capitalize on that trip. Really could have been a great, catch if he were to look for it. That F smash really trying to read some sort of move in, and Lucky Lewis with another catch onto Fortune on that platform gets into a very, just shy of 90%, which could be very fatal if Lucky Lewis is able to find that confirm. He's able to find something. But the charge forward from Fortune, not quite enough to connect. It's going to require the Octo Slash as he gets back onto the platform, able to not get caught by the tornado. And the down tilt going to be getting a little bit of damage. The hair dodge getting Fortune out of the way of what could have been a bad time. But Lucky Lewis sitting at 150. He is really in that danger zone of where a lot of these Sorty moves are going to connect, and if they connect, they are going to kill. He's going to need to put something up on the board, getting Fortune either into a really bad spot if he wants to take this kill. Obviously 100 on the board for the Sorty, and 164 on the board for the Sephiroth. The double dash attack not quite connecting, and the Nair is going to be putting him well off stage into a really bad position. That Octo Slash is going to be trading. It won't kill for either player, but it's going to be putting them both into a bad position. But this throw, not quite going to be enough. The back throw, just not enough pressure to connect or to kill. And now we're back into this slow play neutral. Lucky Lewis being over 100% higher than Fortune, and something like that is just going to confirm. Lucky Lewis able to take one off of Fortune, obviously from that game plan. It's very hard for Sephiroth to get in. I really, really thought he was going to be able to get more there. I'm going to be so honest. I had really big faith, but it happens. The slow play is the slow play, and it works for a reason. And now, BW probably looking to send in Eloquence, probably looking to close this out. Obviously, Fortune having 2 compared to the last time he only had to take 1. But still should be a bygone conclusion. As we look towards, hopefully, closing out this game in a dominant and respectable 2-0 fashion. We saw great play from a lot of our mid-table players, actually. Lucky Lewis and Bumps both going well and beyond what they would have been required to do. And also Yari Yari, putting in great work as he was able to take a lot and not lose as much. Eloquence has always been, good. Not saying he played bad today. Well, not saying he has played bad today. Game's not over quite yet. but he just wasn't as required as maybe for some other games. He's going in, he's not really we're not really trying to bait out anyone. We're just trying to play this standard. Send your best player, your anchor player in last. It's just kind of that simple. But obviously, game's still not over. There still is time for both of these players to bring it back. Both of these players to really force, well, for Eloquence, force a 2-0. For, you know, what do we call it? Uh, Not only just for these two players, but it's also either trying to close this out or force a third game. And that's when you start looking at fatigue. You start looking at how long people are going to be there. Hey, Joe. I say moving over to small battlefield here for what could end up being this final game matchup of Sora and Mia Sword Fighter here as we get into the confirmed last game of this set, potentially the last set of this series.
3, 2, 1, go!
Fortune gonna have to take one of his own before we move into what could be this, well, what will be this very last game of the set and maybe of the series. Eloquence getting an early 30 and already looking to get more. That Sora combo is very potent and he's just playing to force the issue. He's got enough maneuverability to move in and out, duck and weave between Fortune's movement. But really looking towards some sort of opening, some sort of game plan. The up B just out of shield, really putting pressure onto Fortune, and he's able to parry that, forcing Fortune into an offstage position where the Misordi needs to figure out what his game plan will become. The Firaga piling on a little bit more damage, but now it's where Fortune does his work. He's got a lot of zoning ability, but unable to really do a lot. The Sora just being locked off stage, and he's got enough recovery moves that he can just stay here for a while. Fortune able to put some good damage on, don't get me wrong, but Eloquence just kind of chilling off stage. He was able just to get a lot of placement, and Fortune not quite able to kill, but neither will that F smash, neither killing move quite connecting as Eloquence sent back off stage, throwing the Thundaga out. And now has the Blizzaga, could do something nasty with this move. He will not quite connect onto Fortune. And now he's just playing off stage. He knows Fortune's game plan is to try to get him off stage, but the grab into the forward throw, not quite going to be confirming, but a lot of damage. No, quite confirms. That up B really could have been deadly for Fortune if he were to get caught by it. And that back air, not quite going to kill either. Both these players at almost 150. And that up B is going to be enough, putting Fortune onto his last stock. Eloquence with a 2-stock lead here, sitting at that 157 mark. So obviously, this stock is almost foregone, as it is right there. The up tilt going to be confirming it. But he's able to get a little bit of percent onto Fortune, and now he's just looking to chase. He's looking to confirm. He's just looking for any sort of big opening that he can find here. And the Blizzaga, exactly what he needs, getting a little bit more percent in, not just from the freeze, but also from the hit that was able to find. The Firaga getting a little bit, and the Thundaga, what could be a very good move, parrying that up B and getting a little bit of percentage. Fortune now sitting at just over 100. The Thundaga going to be getting a massive confirm, and Eloquence going off for the connect. Fortune barely able to touch with that up B. And Eloquence maybe could have gotten something, but he'll choose to play it a little bit slower and a little bit safer now. Ducking in between all of Fortune's projectiles, trying to find some sort of opening as Fortune now looks to really get one of his confirms. That chakra putting a lot of work in, and the double up air putting Eloquence onto his last stock. But Fortune at 123, really any rogue strong hit from Eloquence is going to be able to do it. Thundaga barely missing, but that Blizzaga going to be getting a lot of work and going to be confirming the stock and the game. That's 2-0 for BW. That's a really good 2-0, actually. That's a well-needed one looking towards this land qualification. And that's going to be all for that game. It's just that simple. Play smart, play fast, play in your face. It's just that easy. Obviously, that game, though, not necessarily the easiest thing ever. It was a back and forth struggle throughout the entire time. BW getting very good leads and Tiffin being able to bring it back down to the wire. But that's all for Smash right now. Thank you all for tuning in to this game. It's been a pleasure to bring this all to you. If you want to stick around on the stream, obviously BW, we're going to be live later. We've got a little bit of Overwatch that's going to be happening up on stream. You do not want to miss that. It's going to be the BW Overwatch program taking on Shawnee State University. Should be a great matchup. But no matter what you decide to do. Thank you all for tuning in right now. And if you want more of BW Esports, Nace is going to be starting up. So we're going to be here almost every night, live right here, right on this stream. More Smash is going to be happening later next week. Games are always going to be happening. Thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you around.